Season 1, Episode 2 of EdRising Google Hangouts. I'm Ashley Kincaid, co-director of Educators Rising, and I'm super excited to be connecting with you this afternoon. Today's episode is Picking the Right Teacher Prep Program with Path to Teach, and it should be a great discussion. If you're a teenager who's trying to figure out your next steps, going to college, how to choose what educator prep program might be right for you, or if you know a teenager who's thinking about these things, this is the place to be. That's exactly what we're discussing this afternoon. By the way, we really want this to be a conversation, so definitely tweet your questions and thoughts live during today's broadcast using hashtag EdRisingChat. We're monitoring the hashtag and we'll ask your questions on air so you can get some answers. But let's just dive right in. First, let me start by introducing our guests today. With me today is Autumn Lewis. Autumn is Manager of Teacher Engagement at the National Council on Teacher Quality, or NCTQ. And also, later today in our webcast, we will have Dr. David Chard, Dean of the College of Education at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, joining us. The Dean has a busy schedule, is running a few minutes late today, and likely will be joining us mid-webcast. But we'll just kick off today's conversation, Autumn, with you. Our audience is mainly teenagers who are exploring teaching. Could you describe for them a little bit about your organization and why it might be useful to them to know about NCTQ and what you're doing?
Sure, I'd love to. Want to start by saying thank you to you, Ashley, for having me on the call, and I'm excited to talk to all of you Educators Rising, you future teachers out there and people who know future teachers, about picking the right teacher prep program. So I'd love to start by giving you a little background on my organization. We're called the National Council on Teacher Quality, or NCTQ for short, and we are based here in Washington, D.C., and we were founded back in 2000, and we do research and policy work in order to ensure that every child has access to effective teachers. That's really our ultimate goal, and one of the biggest things that we do is look at teacher preparation programs and study them to see which ones are best preparing students for the realities of the classroom. And we work to improve the preparation so that every future teacher can join, can step into the classroom on day one and be prepared and confident. Because we don't think that your first year teaching should be a huge struggle, but rather you should walk into the classroom and feel ready to be effective and just be really successful with your students. And we also know that you Educators Rising are getting some great training while you're still in high school, which is so incredible, and we really support those efforts of your Educators Rising chapters. And we want you to be able to continue that great training when you go to college.
That's super helpful. That hits on exactly what many of our rising educators are concerned about. You know, will I be ready on day one? Will I have the skills and knowledge I need to be successful? And more importantly, what that really means is to make my students successful. So if students are looking at educator prep programs, what are a couple of things that they should really be considering when they're trying to decipher between whether or not this program is best for them or that program is best for them or this program is definitely going to, leave me feeling prepared on day one? What should they be looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we've spent a lot of time working on this. We've spent many years developing standards that we use to rate these teacher preparation or educator preparation programs. And we talked to current teachers and school district principals and administrators and asked them what knowledge and skills new teachers need to have when they enter the classroom so that they can be successful and ultimately help their students learn as much as they possibly can. And one of the most important things that we look at in these educator preparation programs is content knowledge. Content is so key for being a successful teacher, because if you don't know something yourself, it's really hard to teach it to your students. So we want to look at programs and ensure that they are giving future teachers the content knowledge that they need to be successful when they enter the classroom. So that means for elementary teachers making sure that they get a broad background in all the subjects that they need. And for those secondary teachers, when you really specialize in an area, we want to make sure that you have a really deep understanding of that subject that you'll teach so that you can pass that deep understanding on to your students. Another big thing that we look at for educator preparation programs, specifically those that are training elementary teachers, is reading preparation. Because if you want to be a future elementary teacher, reading preparation is your job number one. We need to make sure that our students know how to read. So we look at, we've studied decades and decades of scientific research about what teachers need to know in order to teach their students how to read. And we've compiled that into these 5 strategies that every future teacher should know about reading instruction. And so we check to see, are future teachers getting that knowledge that they need while they're in college? Another hugely important element of teacher preparation programs are student teaching experiences. And many of you all know about the importance of that in-classroom experience because you're doing it right now in high school, which is so incredible. It gives you the chance to really take what you're learning in the classroom in your Educators Rising and put it into practice. And in the same way, when you get to college and you have the opportunity to do student teaching for a semester, we want to make sure that you have the absolute best experience possible. So we look at programs, student teaching experiences, and really see, are they designing this program to help you have the best experience? And what we look at are, who are the mentor teachers whom you're being paired with when you're going out into the classroom? Are these mentor teachers, do they have enough experience, and are they effective, and are they good at mentoring adults? So can they provide you with the feedback and guidance that will really help you use your student teaching experience to get even better at teaching so that when you enter the classroom, you're ready? And we also check to see, are you getting enough feedback when you're being a student teacher? Because we know that if you don't learn from your mentor teacher or from your teacher preparation program, what am I doing well and what can I improve on, you don't have that opportunity to enhance and build your skills. So those are the 3 of the biggest areas. And then a final one I'll just briefly touch on would be who are going to be your peers in educator preparation programs. Because we really believe that the future teachers of America should be the best and the brightest. And we want future teachers to be surrounded by peers who are really well suited for teaching and who are really excited and engaged about the future of the profession. So those are kind of the 4 main things I would touch on, but there's plenty more that I could talk about as well.
So that's super helpful, Autumn. Just to recap for all of our viewers out there, 4 top things that you could be thinking about when looking at educator prep programs to help you distinguish between what might be the best fit for you. Number 1, content is key. You got to get that content knowledge. If you don't have it, there's no way you can transfer that to your students or help them gain it. Number 2, reading preparation is number 1, especially for elementary teachers. Helping students be able to read is going to be your top priority. Number 3, student teaching experiences. We need tons of hands-on opportunity to really put your learning into practice and to make sure that you have mentors there who are going to really help you learn and reflect on those student teaching experiences. And then number 4, looking at who your peers are going to be. You want to surround yourself with the best and brightest so that you can all create a strong network and learn from each other. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's great. That's a perfect summary, Ashley.
Okay.
We want to make sure, yeah, those are exactly 4 top key things you can look for in an educator preparation program.
Awesome. And as you said, Autumn, that's totally what Educators Rising is all about too. In terms of building like a strong network where you can surround yourself and learn from others, that's exactly what we're all about, whether it's chapters at the local level or through the EdRising virtual campus and connecting with other students, or in-person events like the national conference where you can reach out and actually learn from other students who are excited, passionate, fired up, and smart, and thinking about all of these really important things too. Also, again, the student teaching experiences, like you mentioned, Autumn, that's a lot of what our students are doing right now. they're having those opportunities in high school. And so, yes, this totally aligns with a lot of what Educators Rising is focused on right now, too. So that's great to hear. Autumn, I saw on Twitter that you've been promoting Path to Teach. In fact, Educators Rising has been helping promote Path to Teach. It's a new website developed by your organization. Could you tell us a little bit more about Path to Teach and show us how it works?
Yeah, I would love to do that. So as I mentioned, we have been studying teacher preparation programs for years. And we took all of this great research that we've been doing for over 10 years, and we crunched it all down into a website that's a college search website just for you, the future teacher. So you can visit this website and search different teacher preparation programs and find one that best fits your needs, and most importantly, find the one that will best prepare you for the realities of the classroom. Because we all know that teaching is a really hard but super important job. So we want you to be able to find that teacher preparation program or college of education that is a perfect fit for you. And you can do that on Path to Teach. So like I mentioned, we've been doing this research for a long time, and we talked, we studied all the best research. We talked with current teachers, and we distilled all that down into this website. So we've talked a little bit about what we look for in the programs. And you can find that out through looking on Path to Teach. So we have rated over 1,100 colleges of education, and we provide them with an overall grade and then grades on each one of our different standards. And an example of a standard would be student teaching experience or content knowledge. So I think rather than sitting here talking about it, it would be best if I simply can just show you all on my screen. So we'll give you a nice quick tour of Path to Teach. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And you can see right now we are on the Path to Teach homepage. And the Path to Teach homepage is where you start when you type in pathtoteach.org. And on this site, you have kind of two main options when you start. If you already have a college or institution in mind, you can do a simple school search. So you could come over here and start by typing in the name of a university. Let's say you're a student in Texas and you're considering Southern Methodist University. Type in the name, hit on the magnifying glass, and it will show you all of the programs offered by Southern Methodist University. So let's click on the undergraduate programs because most of our Educators Rising are in high school, so they are looking for an undergraduate program. This is a school profile page. This tells you a lot of really important things that you should know, you, the future teacher, should know when you're considering this institution. So we start with a beautiful picture of the campus. If you click on the school's name, it will take you directly to that institution's website, so you can get a little bit of more information about the institution. Next, you can scroll down and see all of the different programs that are offered, because you, maybe through your Educators Rising experience, have had the opportunity to maybe narrow down which type of teacher you'd like to be, whether it's an elementary or secondary teacher. So it's important when you're looking at colleges of education to see if the program that you're interested in is offered by that institution. So, for example, if you had decided you'd like to be a special education teacher, this school would not be a good fit for you since it does not offer a special education program. Next, we can scroll down and see our ratings section. And this is where we dig into the details of why that school got the overall A-. So an A- is a very strong program. It's one that we at NCTQ would really highly recommend as being great at preparing you for the realities of the classroom. But let's get a little bit more detail about why we think that. So the first thing we look at is admission selectivity. This is when we were talking about the idea of surrounding yourself with other strong peers. And we recognize that you need to be surrounded by strong peers in your teacher preparation program. So this school gets an A, which means they're doing a great job at making sure that they admit strong teacher candidates. Next, we look at content knowledge and answers questions like, will I learn what I need to be a great math teacher? and offers a lot of different information there. You can also see student teaching. This program gets a C on student teaching. It has some areas in which it could improve. So it has some, but not all of the pieces in place to guarantee that you'd have a high-quality student teaching experience. And you can keep digging into all of these different ratings. We also have a section that's called Snapshot. And we know that future teachers have to think about a lot of things as they decide where to go to college. So we know that the cost of the school is important, and we offer the undergraduate tuition and the graduate tuition, along with the percent of students who receive financial aid, because that can often determine if a student can afford the school or not. We also know that the size of an institution is important. Some students want big schools, some students want small schools. We also give you some information about getting into the school, so you can see does your profile, your academic profile, fit the average students that are enrolled there. And it also says the size of the teacher prep program. So you can see how many fellow future teachers you'd be enrolled with. Along with diversity, you can see who you would be surrounding yourself with in the teacher prep program and the setting. And then you can scroll down and look at the program on a site, and this gives you, or on a map, so you can get an idea of its location. And then I'll also go through, maybe you are a future teacher who doesn't know exactly where you'd like to go to school. Well, that's where the advanced search would just fit in perfectly for you. So you can say, I'm looking for an undergraduate degree. Let's say you want to major in secondary education, and you live in Tennessee, and you think you'd like to go around in Tennessee. And maybe you can add some more filters. So maybe your parents have said we can spend up to $20,000. So then we can show results through those filters, and it will list those programs that fit your needs right there for you to look at. And they're listed in order of quality, starting with the highest rated ones, these A programs, and then going on down. So that's another way to search for programs, especially if you're not really sure specifically where you'd like to go to college. I'll just point out a couple other features of the site for you all. You can make a profile on the site and save schools as favorites. So I have saved these schools as my favorites, and I have the opportunity to come back to this list and do more research along with saving searches. So you could look at these programs during the day at school and then go home and show your parents, hey, this is what I'm considering for college. And then one last thing I'll show would be the opportunity to compare schools. So, you know, it often comes down to a couple of schools that you're considering, and we want you to have the opportunity to look at them side by side. So we'll just add a couple of schools here. Let's say you're in Ohio and you're thinking about maybe I'd go to Miami University or Wittenberg or University of Dayton. Those are your top 3 choices. So you can add all of those to the compare schools, and then you can look at them side by side and look at their scores on things like content knowledge or teaching reading or student teaching and see what different grades these programs get. And this compare schools allows you to compare their things like tuition and size as well, which is all very important for you as you're making this very big decision about where to attend college. So that's all I'll show you on the site for now, but I'd really encourage everyone to check it out. Like Ashley said, it's pathtoteach.org.
Autumn, this is totally fascinating. So, you know, you started off the conversation telling us 4 things that we should be thinking about when considering educator prep programs. But I have to tell you, when you said those 4 things, I thought, oh my gosh, well, how do I figure out whether the school really teaches content knowledge or is going to help me get the courses I need to ensure I have the content knowledge that I need to be successful in the classroom, or how am I going to figure out what their student teaching experiences are like? But it looks like NCTQ has done a ton of that research for us, and what we're able to do is use your site, similar like any shopping site, where we can look at the products or the educator prep programs and compare them and see what might be the best fit depending on all of the different factors that you just shared, like size and tuition and location and their grades. That's incredible. How long has this been around?
Well, it actually just launched a month ago, so it's very new. And we do know that choosing where to get your training for teaching is a very big decision. There's a lot of factors that are involved, and it's a big investment of time and money. And so we want to ensure that future teachers are empowered with absolutely as much information as they possibly can get as they're making this huge decision. Because, I mean, I know when I'm deciding to buy a new dress, I'll compare options side by side online, and that's not even nearly as monumental of a decision as the opportunity to see where I'm going to spend the next 4 years of my life and get set on a path to my future career. Yeah. So we really wanted to give students as much information as they want.
Exactly, yes. This is a really critical decision and does help you help set yourself up long-term on a path for career success and helping students meet their learning goals. So this is a really exciting tool. I will tell you that, like I said, I've seen a lot about NCTQ on Twitter lately, and some people in teacher education have criticized NCTQ's ratings. You gave all of these schools letter grades, and some people have been a little bit critical about that, questioning different aspects of it. And so I'm curious to know what you've heard in the criticism and what makes you think NCTQ should really be advising high school students who are thinking about teaching.
Yeah, I think that for me, when I hear the criticism, I think sometimes it comes from a hesitation of really being willing to open up the hood and take a look inside and see what's really going on. I know, playing sports, it was sometimes hard to get feedback that was, even though it came from a constructive place, it's not always good to hear that you're not doing as well as you could. And so we really look at the issue from the view of public school teachers. And we have talked to so many public school teachers who felt like when they entered into the classroom that they weren't prepared on day one. And that's really what motivates me to continue doing this work, to create this website. And it's what motivates us to keep studying these teacher preparation programs. Our goal is that eventually, no matter which teacher preparation program you attended, that every option would be a great one. But right now, that's not the case. And there's some that are doing a better job at preparing future teachers, and there's others that aren't. And so we're really motivated from a place of helping these programs improve. And most importantly, I think we have all seen the headlines. College costs are rising. Students are going to spend 4 years at college or a year or two in graduate school getting these teacher preparation degrees. And if students are making this big, humongous decision, we believe that they should be empowered with as much information as possible when they're making this decision. And that's really what motivates our work, and that's why we created this website, and that's why we're going to keep updating it with new information in the future.
That's super helpful. Thanks, Autumn. Is there anything else that you would want to share with our audience about Path to Teach or NCTQ, or even just general thoughts on thinking about teacher prep programs and how to choose one? Anything that we haven't covered yet?
Well, I'd love to say, we really encourage everyone to really get on the website, make a profile, play around. If you have any suggestions for the website, we'd love to hear them, because maybe there's a piece of information that you'd like to know and we don't have it on the website right now. We'd love to hear that, and we're going to be continually updating the website and trying to make it better. And just more broadly, we think the more information that you have as you're making this big decision, the better. And we really want to serve as a source of information for future teachers. And we just believe so strongly in, we're so happy that there's this great group of high school students who are out there trying to learn about teaching and become engaged starting so early. And we want to do everything that we can to support you all as educators rising and entering to this profession that we really believe is so important. And we'd love for you to check us out on Twitter and Facebook, engage with us on social media, like I said, if you have any ideas about how to make the site better, we'd love to hear them. And if you have any questions, please just don't hesitate to let us know. There's contact us options on the site. So I think that's what I'd have to wrap it up.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Autumn. Well, we do have a lightning round of questions for you. Before we dive into that, I do just want to share with our network who's watching today, beyond connecting all of you rising educators with Path to Teach and NCTQ, I just wanted to remind you that we have a ton of other college planning resources for you. In fact, if you're in the EdRising virtual campus under the Get Prepared channel, there is a whole college planning section. We have timelines and articles and checklists, lots of information for you there. I would definitely encourage you to check it out. And also, in terms of finances and affording college, in addition to providing information about that for you, we do also provide scholarships for rising educators. Those applications open in November, so watch the EdRising virtual campus for more information on that. We want to help you be able to afford that educator prep program that you want to attend. And then also in terms of college applications and helping yourself stand out, we have the EdRising Honor Society. So keep your eyes peeled for more information on that in the EdRising virtual campus. That will open up in early 2016, but it's a great way for you to stand out in college applications, pay for college, and also just get information that you need about creating the plan for this big next step in life. So I just wanted to remind you about those resources in addition to Path to Teach, which is pathtoteach.org. And Autumn, I want to wrap up with you today with a quick set, 5 questions, rapid fire, just for fun, to get your responses. So question number 1 is, what is your favorite song right now?
My favorite song right now is actually from a country band called the Turnpike Troubadours, and it's called The Bird Hunter. It's not very well known.
Okay, interesting. Where did you go to college?
I went to college at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Going back there for homecoming this weekend, so go Pigs.
You have a call, right?
Woo Pig Suey, yeah.
Woo Pig Suey. All right. Who is one teacher you had that stands out in your mind, and why does that person stand out?
It would be my 3rd grade teacher. Her name was Miss Headley, and I had just switched schools, and she did a lot to help me feel adjusted to my new school. So she was one of my favorites growing up.
Awesome. And what is the best advice you ever got, related to education or not?
I think I would say my parents always just emphasized the importance of working hard and said that is more important than anything else. And I've really found throughout my time in high school, college, and now as a working professional that hard work really does pay off, and so that's the best advice I've ever gotten.
True words to live by right there. Autumn, thank you so much for taking time to be with us today. You're actually in the airport right now, so we really appreciate you carving out this time. Just reminding everyone that Autumn is here representing National Council on Teacher Quality, and she just shared with us Path to Teach, pathtoteach.org. Autumn, thank you for being with us today. I want to remind all of our rising educators and teacher leaders out there to check out the upcoming EdRising Google Hangouts. You can do that on our website, educatorsrising.org. Next week, we'll be talking with Jose Vilson about cultural competence and how that's really key in helping teachers connect with students from different cultural backgrounds than their own. A critical topic that we're really excited to connect students with. I'm Ashley Kincaid. There's power in teaching.